Teofimo Lopez versus Jermaine Ortiz in a matchup that I think people were just like not about when it first got made. I don't think people were excited about it. I don't think people thought, oh, this is something I'm really excited to see. I thought it was a good matchup. Honestly, for what was available, because there's not a lot available. The top rank has 140 pounds, right? I think Jermaine Ortiz is a pretty interesting matchup, especially because with Teofimo, the thing has been like, what are you going to get from him, right? What is he going to be challenged with? When he makes fights that we think he's going to lose, he wins easy. Fights he thinks he's going to win easy, he loses, like Kambosos, right? So what is Jermaine Ortiz going to offer him? Is it going to make a tough fight? Is it going to be an interesting fight? Is it a fight that he could possibly lose? Now, Teofimo has a set style, right? And he steps into his stuff, and then he explodes with things. Steps in. He really relies heavy on his right hand. He steps in. He's got the defense here. Boom! Steps in with the right hand. He wants to beat your right hand. Up, down, right? And sometimes he forgets to set it up. Because he's at his best when he's using this jab. But he doesn't use it often. Often forgets it. So he doesn't use the jab often. So sometimes he just steps in and explodes into a hook or a right hand. But when he uses the jab, he keeps guys in balance. And when you use the jab, the guy has to react to it. And when he reacts, then Teofimo can work off that. Puts guys in balance. He's more effective. When guys step in on him, right, he's very effective because he's set and he's so fast and he picks shots really well. Now, his defense isn't great. His defense is real catch and shoot, right? But it's not foolproof. It's not consistent. It's not a lot of fundamentals on it. He can be touched. Off the right hand, he often gets trapped. When he explodes into a position, he often gets stuck here, right? And he can get countered. Someone really fast hands will usually catch him. Kambosos caught him because he jumped in and he stood here. Didn't think about defense. When he fought Lomachenko, and people had a problem when I tweeted this, as I said, Lomachenko rematch would probably win. I felt pretty confident he would win that because he had figured out that Teofimo is a big movement and then needs to reset. He's not an automatic. He's a shotgun. You need to crank him back to get back position. He punches big motions. He's got to set back into his feet, get back in position, and then he can go again. He's not a guy that flows off with his offense. He's not a skateboarder, right? I think the best boxers in the world are more like skateboarders or surfers. They keep flowing into different things. They do a move, and they flow into something else that flows into another move. Teofimo really doesn't do that. Teofimo explodes with a shot, and then he's got to reset, get back in position. When he fought Kambosos, that's why Kambosos had a lot of success. Kambosos is actually very fast moving backwards, and he's got fast feet. So when Teofimo would throw a big shot, and then Kambosos went back, he would explode and flurry because Teofimo would be there to be hit. Lomachenko realized, like I said, he had to reset. Now, Jermaine Ortiz isn't that kind of fighter as Kambosos. Right now, he's an athletic fighter. He's a fighter that kind of fights on just raw ability, and he's kind of fighter that doesn't really, I feel like, has a game plan that goes in or doesn't really follow the game plan. He kind of just goes in there and does things. He beat a guy like Jermaine Herring, who it was an upset when it happened, but it really makes a lot of sense because he's a big, strong, and athletic guy. He came out southpaw to start off with. Then he switched, and I'm not even sure there was a plan on that. He just did it. He just felt it. And then he would be too strong for Jermaine. Get in on him, rough him up, and then he would just explode with combos. But he's really a jab in front of you, just staying in front of you, jabbing, and then he'll flurry in and loses his range a lot of times. A lot of times he makes a lot of mistakes where it's just low boxing IQ. Now, kind of feels like he's raw to the sports steel. Kind of feels a weird comparison, but honestly like Jake Paul, where it's like, I'm not sure what I'm going to get. I see things that he struggles at the fight that I just seen, but then when he comes back, he could fix it because he's still so raw. So he might be a better fighter this time around. I thought he was a better fighter than he was in the Jermaine Herring fight against Lomachenko. I thought he was a better fighter in that fight. Now, still made mistakes, still gave up range, still gave up bad positioning just because I don't think he has the best IQ. I don't think he's putting it all together. There's a chance he does put it all together. But from what I'm seeing and the mistakes he makes and the things he does, I think he stands in range too often, right? I think he stands here in range too much. I think he needs to use his legs a little bit more and bounce in and out. You don't want to get Teofimo. You don't want to stare at Teofimo. If you go punch for punch Teofimo's probably going to win that, right? So you need to move out and not let Teofimo set. Let Teo step in, but feel like he's going to come up short or make him reach for something. And then if you're in front of him, jab him. Beat Teofimo with the jab. Make him react to the jab. That way he's off his spot and off his rhythm. Use his legs. Make Teofimo chase him. That's the best thing. I don't think coming forward on Teofimo is the best idea for Jermaine Ortiz. I think he has defensive flaws. I think he makes a lot of mistakes, but I think he's strong. I think he's athletic, and he shows flashes of really good talent. but I imagine that he's going to stay in his range too long. He's not going to follow a really good game plan. And I think that if you stay and stand at Teofimo too long, he's going to pick you apart. I expect that to happen. I don't know if Teofimo gets a stoppage here. I think Jermaine Ortiz is a very strong guy. Teofimo hasn't really been racking up stoppages, even as moved up in weight. I think that Jermaine Ortiz is strong, but I think he's going to be a step behind. I think he's going to get hit with a lot of shots. And I just don't think that he has a style to really exploit what Teofimo struggles at. Now, if he gets a jab going and he gets on his legs, maybe we get something interesting here. But I'm expecting Teofimo to win this fight. I expect Teofimo's right hand to play a big factor. I think he's going to be more patient. I don't know. If he has no respect for the guy, he gets out of his whole game plan. But if he stays patient, he works off his jab, and he allows himself to find the shots, allows the guys to make the mistake and him to capitalize on it. Teofimo's a very effective fighter. I expect Teofimo to win this fight. I'm going to say he's going to go to the scorecards, and we'll see where he goes on from there. But I think it's an interesting matchup because Jermaine Ortiz is not a bad fighter. And I think that people want to put it as if he is, but he isn't. Thank you for listening.